name of humanity, we march. We march today to end violence. We march today for reproductive justice. We march today for LGBTQI plus rights, for workers' rights, for civil rights, for disability rights, for immigrant rights, and environmental justice. We march for our rights today.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to be alive. It's a beautiful day to be a woman. I'm so thankful to be here. Today's going to be an amazingly powerful day with all of us out there raising awareness and putting this wonderful, beautiful energy out there. I wanted to give the mic over to our relative here, California relative, who's going to open us up with a prayer song, Canyon Sayers.
If you can hear me say, oh! Welcome to Ohlone territory. Oh! Right here, right now, we are in Yelamu. Can you say Yelamu?
Yelamu.
The language spoken here is Ramaytush. Can you say Ramaytush? You just acknowledged two indigenous words, native to this land before English and before Spanish. Oh! So I want to just acknowledge that wherever we go, we need to honor native land. Wherever we are on unceded territories, and to acknowledge the indigenous nations of whose land we are on is the first and foremost important practice of solidarity, to recognize that indigenous peoples are on these lands and the ancestors need to be acknowledged. Anywhere we go in any of these lands, internationally have indigenous nations. All of us have indigenous blood. So we are all indigenous together. We must honor our ancestors to come together. So I want to honor and acknowledge that my mother and my grandmother believed that when song, ceremony, and dancing stops, so does the earth. I too believe that. So I want to offer a grandmother song to honor our grandmothers, their grandmothers, and in all Mother Earth. For without them and without her, we would not be here. We share this time and space together for a reason. So it's with that humility, that gratitude, that present-mindedness that I offer this song to this space here today. Moim hoyo kawana, moim hoyo ka, moim hoy no, moim hoyo ko, moim hoyo ne. Thank you for acknowledging the indigenous peoples of these territories. Thank you for acknowledging indigenous protocol. We are still here.
My body. Not the church and not the state. Women must decide our fate.
Donald Trump! Fuck Donald Trump! Fuck Donald Trump!
We're marching today to end white supremacy. We're marching today to end police brutality. And we're marching here today to let you all know that it's imperative that you all vote in the 2020 presidential elections. Black lives matter. Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. Say it with us. Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. Refugees are welcome here. Refugees are welcome here.
Welcome to our Digital March for Our Rights. I'm Anne Mercogliano, the co-lead of the San Francisco Women's March. Thank you for tuning in and being part of our day of action. We also want to thank our co-hosts, NARAL of California, the San Francisco League of Women's Voters, the Women's Building, Planned Parenthood of Northern California, and the San Francisco Women's Political Committee. With this day of action, we're calling for Justice Ginsburg's wishes to be honored and that there be no appointment till after the inauguration, that marriage equality is protected, reproductive freedom is upheld, and that we address the systemic racism in our country by showing with our actions that Black lives matter. With this day, we also want to honor and recognize that we are on Native land that we live right now, and we want to remember the 216,000 lives that are lost due to COVID-19 here in the U.S. We also want to remember Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Tony McDade, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Michael Brown, Eric Gardner, Philando Castile, Oscar Grant, Mario Woods, and so many other Black and brown souls that were lost to police brutality. The San Francisco Women's March in 2017 was one of the largest marches the city has ever seen. It was only successful because of all of you who showed up and showed that we would resist and be a voice for what we believe in over the last 4 years. We are governed by our unity principles of ending violence, reproductive freedom, LGBTQIA rights, workers' rights, civil rights, disability rights, immigrants' rights, and environmental justice. Marching for our rights isn't just about being in the streets, but it's also about doing the work, individually and collectively. Today, we call on you to do several things. First and foremost, make sure you're registered to vote. You should have received a ballot in California if you are registered to vote. Send this back by mail as soon as possible. You can also drop it off at multiple locations, including Civic Center today, where the city has agreed to staff the ballot drop during our day of action. Secondly, have you volunteered to help others make sure they know how to vote? So many organizations, including our co-host partners, are going to tell you how to get involved. Get on the phones and help people figure out their plan to vote. Text bank, write letters, help people understand where their polling place is, volunteer to be a poll worker. Think of the hours that you have marched over the last 4 years. Can you commit the same amount of hours dedicated with that time to help other people make sure that they know that their vote is counted? Third, and most importantly, post-November 3rd, the work will not be over. Let's be clear, our unity principles that I just listed will not be achieved in a few short weeks. You joined with us in 2016 because you knew that you needed your voice to be heard and to fight for your rights and to fight for others. So much inequality existed before 2016 and will continue to exist afterwards unless we keep the same resolve. We're faced with a pandemic, economic decline, housing instability, wealth inequality, and so much more right now. At this moment, we need you to do the work. Hopefully we'll celebrate, and then we will get back to working on building the city, country, and world that we are proud of and mirrors our principles for everyone. Please commit to joining with us going forward. Sign up on our website to stay involved. Thank you again for joining us today. We know that we can create change because you are out there doing the work and supporting us.
It's like a athletics shirt. It's not scary. Hi, my name is Kristen Urquiza. I'm a San Francisco resident. I'm also the co-founder of a nonprofit called Marked by COVID. We are working for a coordinated, data-driven national response to the COVID-19 pandemic. It's a nonprofit that I launched this summer after losing my own father, Mark Urquiza, to COVID-19. He was otherwise a healthy 65-year-old who had many years ahead of him. He is but one of the 215,000 lives lost to this pandemic. I invite you to join me in a moment of silence to acknowledge and honor those we have lost. Thank you. I also invite you to do two other things. One, vote. You have to vote this election cycle. If we are going to get the COVID response that we need, it's going to require every single one of us showing up to the polls and casting our votes. But then also, this work is just getting started. Social change happens. Issues get changed whenever people continue to show up and raise their voices. That is exactly why I launched Marked by COVID, to ensure that the people most impacted, folks like me and others across the country, have a seat at the table when it comes to not just the response and the recovery period of COVID-19. We will get there someday, but also to think about the resiliency, recognition, and restitution needed to make things right again. Thank you so much for showing up here today. Thank you in advance for showing up tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. Our communities, our family, our country need you. I need you, and I appreciate you. Thanks.
my name is Leah Azul Salavari, and I'm the co-president of the San Francisco Women's Political Committee.
And I'm Sharon Chung, the events chair for the San Francisco Women's Political Committee.
We're here today to urge you all to make your voices heard by making a pledge to vote on November 3rd.
Let's be real. Our country is at a critical turning point. From the COVID-19 pandemic to the movement for Black Lives Matter, we are being asked this election cycle to put our values into action.
This November will be one of the most important elections of our lifetime. For women and marginalized communities, our fundamental rights are on the ballot, and it's up to us to stand for what we believe. That's why we're asking you to make a plan to vote. Each of us can talk to our loved ones, our friends, our families, and colleagues, and encourage them to get out the vote. There's nothing we can't do if we organize together with persistence and drive.
Ladies, this year it's up to us. Let's get out the vote and make a difference.
We look forward to seeing you at the ballot box.
To learn more and get involved with the San Francisco Women's Political Committee, go to sfwpc.org. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Teresa Mejia. I'm the Executive Director of the Women's Building. Thank you for coming and marching with us. The staff of the Women's Building were marching today. These are very hard times for our communities, for us, for women, for immigrants. And we need to march for our rights. Our voices have to be heard. Today, we're marching for
immigrant rights.
Derecho de los trabajadores esenciales.
Women's reproductive rights.
October 19 is the last day to register for voting. Tenemos que votar. Nuestro voto es nuestra voz. We need to vote. This is very important. We have to go out and vote, vote, vote.
Hi, my name is Tani Estrada and I'm the Program Director at the Women's Building. Thank you for marching with us today. I'm here to remind you that the Women's Building is here for you, so if you need any assistance or help, please call our main line 415-431-1180 extension 11. And remember, go out and let your voice be heard. Go out and vote.
I draw a lot. I don't know what other people do. Just a reminder, vote please. So we're walking down Market Street. My favorite season is the fall of patriarchy. Yes, that is true. Isn't that the season we're all waiting for? And then we have another banner that says, I am speaking. For years altogether, voices of women have been curbed. So this phrase here, I am speaking, reminds you that your voice matters, your opinion matters, your choice matters. The state controlling a woman would mean denying her full authority, autonomy, and full equality. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? What do we want? Justice. When do we want? Now. Pussy power. human is illegal on the planet. Stop deportation.
My body, my body, my choice. My body, my choice.
My name is Shannon Olivieri Hovis, and I'm the director of NARAL Pro-Choice California. We are just 17 days away from the most important election of our lifetime. Today, we march for our rights because we know that the outcome of this election will determine the future of reproductive freedom, of LGBTQ freedom, immigrant rights, voting rights, and so much more. Just last month, a whistleblower at an ICE detention facility in Georgia exposed that immigrant women are being forcibly sterilized. This is 2020, and we are seeing reproductive oppression right before our eyes. All of our civil and human rights are on the line, and it is time to act now. Take action with NARAL by following us on social media at ProChoiceCA, and you can sign up to volunteer at any of our upcoming events on our Facebook page. With just 17 days left until the election, we are phone banking, text banking, writing postcards, and talking to friends and family all across this country to guarantee that we win big for reproductive freedom this November. Will you join us? Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at ProChoiceCA to take action with NARAL.
I'm Lauren Babb with Planned Parenthood Northern California. 2 years ago, the senators confirmed Justice Kavanaugh Trump's second Supreme Court nominee. We marched, we rallied, and we fought to stop Justice Kavanaugh's confirmation to the Supreme Court. Not just because of Dr. Christine Blasey Ford's brave account of sexual assault, but also because we fiercely believed in our right to control our own bodies. Now, we're here again. The Senate Republicans are ignoring the will of the people and, importantly, the devastating impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic to push through a nominee who could undermine many of our rights and protections, including overturning Roe v. Wade and dismantling the Affordable Care Act. This is a time we can't afford to not have you with us. We need every ounce of energy you've got to protect Justice Ginsburg's seat for someone who will protect us, our health care, and our rights. The fight we're in now shows us that, if anything, elections have consequences. With this new Supreme Court pick, the administration and Senate leadership are threatening everything we believe in: our health care, our reproductive freedom, our civil rights. These are not just hypotheticals. With a case that could undermine the Affordable Care Act 1 week after the election and 17 abortion cases just a step away from the Supreme Court, we cannot afford another nominee on the bench that does not support our rights. We've got to show the world that we've had enough and we're ready to fight for what we believe in. Here are some ways that you can help us fight for good. 1, make a plan to vote and vote. Vote by mail, vote at the polls, vote early. Make sure your voice is heard. Make sure you reach out to your friends and family. Join our list, share your story, and donate at www.ppnorcal.org. Through it all, Planned Parenthood Northern California stands strong, resolute in our commitment to provide compassionate, affordable health care. Our doors remain open regardless of immigration status, race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, religion, disability, or ability to pay. Sexual and reproductive health care are essential and cannot wait. So let's raise our voices and protect our health care, because elections matter and so do our voices. Thank you.
We've reached the ferry building. Another reminder, please vote. Vote as if your life depends on it. Okay. Respect is resistance, or expect resistance. All right, we've reached the ferry building. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you for coming out today. Thank you for staying at home. We're all very grateful to you for raising your voice, for voting. Please vote if you haven't voted yet. Vote as if your life depends on it. Vote for ending violence, reproductive justice, LGBTQI plus rights, workers' rights, civil rights, disability rights, immigrant rights, and environmental justice. Keep coming into the courtyard! Keep on coming in. Please don't forget the lives that we have lost in the United States due to COVID-19. Please don't forget all the black and brown people whose names need to be said, who were brutally killed and murdered because of police brutality. Keep on coming in, guys! You made it to the end of the march. Thank you so much. Who already voted? That's the question. Come on all the way in so everyone's here up in the street. All the way back. Why is it green? I don't know. Trump is stealing the election. If he doesn't leave, we have to take to the streets. And now you know bring in everybody so they can get off the street.
You already got one. Get another.
Everybody get off the fucking street.
I'm trying to stop it. I know. Trying to get black ones on the currency. Take this label on her off. Well, it took me 25 miles.
Amy Barrett has to go. Stop Trump. Stop Trump. Amy Barrett has to go. Stop Trump. Stop Trump. Came out. Vote early. To exercise the First Amendment rights. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, my name's Allison Go, and I'm the president of the League of Women Voters of San Francisco. The League of Women Voters, we are a nonpartisan political nonprofit that defends democracy. We provide voter education to encourage people to vote in education and participate in government. We also engage in advocacy to influence public policy that benefits the community. People of all genders are welcome. We also do not support or oppose candidates or political parties, but we do take positions on issues. We are a volunteer organization and we're grassroots. So if you're interested in joining us, please go to lwvsf.org. We have a website at lwvsf.org/vote, which I have brought up here. It is our one-stop shop for all things election related. You can find information on how to register to vote. The registration deadline is Monday, October 19th, and you can still register online. You can also use this website to find your registration and make sure it's all right. Everybody in California should have received a mail-in ballot by today. You can make sure to call the Department of Elections if you haven't received your ballot yet. Once you've received your ballot, we have lots of information on how to vote. For example, you can go to Voter's Edge here and find your custom ballot. You can also find our pros and cons guide. Our pros and cons guide is put together by our team of volunteers, where they go through extensive research and are able to distill each local San Francisco ballot measure to an easy to read argument for each side. We also have some ballot discussions. Right here, we have our YouTube videos for Proposition B, F, and G. We also have YouTube videos for our candidate forums. This year, we held candidate forums for Board of Supervisors races 1, 7, and 11. The full recordings can be found on our website right here. We've also recorded candidate statements. These were filmed in partnership with SF Gov TV, and many candidates for everything from Board of Supervisors to BART Board to City College and Education are featured on our candidate statement page. You can go out there and hear from all of the candidates. Once you've done your research, make sure to vote. Please make sure to sign and return it by Election Day. It needs to be, you can return it in person at the Bill Graham Auditorium, or you can mail it at any USPS mailbox. You can even track your ballot and make sure it's counted. Here we have the website votersedge.org/California. Voters Edge is a really great website. You can pop in your zip code right here and it'll come up with your custom ballot. This way you can see all of the candidates, measures, who supports them. It even shows a lot of the submitted arguments as well as the proponents for and against each ballot measure. Finally, I'd like to share our ballot recommendations. The League of Women Voters does make ballot recommendations, and we take positions of ballot measures based on league positions and principles. This is a really extensive process that we do not take lightly because we know as the League, we have a really interesting position to share on very many issues. Our volunteers do extensive research on many different positions, and they look at previous League positions as well as studies to make our decisions. For more information online, you can find this on our website. This year, we've made a number of ballot recommendations for both the California state measures, which are pictured here, as well as the city of San Francisco, for which we have many ballot recommendations for everything that you can find here. If you want more information about these, you can similarly find these on our website at lwvsf.org. Finally, I recommend going to our website again, lwvsf.org/vote. We have our pros and cons research page, which has every single ballot measure explained in very easy to read manner. LWVSF.org/vote also has a link to our ballot recommendations if you want to know how the league recommends you to vote. And please follow us online. We are very active on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you'd like to join us, we always would love more volunteers. Please email membership@lwvsf.org, or you can join us online and make a contribution. Lastly, I'd like to close by pointing at one of our league mottos, which is empowering voters and defending democracy. And at this point, it depends on you so that you become an educated voter and make sure to submit your ballot by November 3rd. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And please remember the league as you're doing your research and follow us online. Thanks so much.